Well, hi. This is Judy McKee of McKee Consulting once more. My camera always says that my video and my audio are not together. I don't see that. I think it is together. It's good to be with you. This is day 2 and the second session. And today I'm going to show you how I started my whole career on a blank piece of paper. What I did was, I had a teacher, several teachers actually, who were very willing to teach sales, but they taught tricky sales. So I did not like tricky sales. So I decided that I couldn't do what they taught because it made me feel bad. I didn't want to be some kind of a pushy, tricky, scheming, make the other person feel wrong or stupid person. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to love my sales. I wanted to love my job. I wanted to love my customer. I wanted my customer to love me. And I couldn't do it with all those tricks they had. So I decided to do this. And what I did was I wrote a list. I'm writing it now. What worked and what didn't work. Wait a minute. What worked and what didn't work. So I made lists like that. An example of that would be, I was in real estate at the time, so I wanted to be sure I sold a lot of real estate. Well, in order to sell real estate, you have to get appointments with people. I also realized that you could make more money with listings than you could schlepping people around town. So I knew that I had to make calls to people, what we called in the business, FSBOs, or for sale by owners. So every day I would agree with myself to call the for sale by owners in the Los Angeles Times, because no one else wanted to do it, because those people already had made up their mind, we don't want an agent. But I figured I could take it. They can't hurt me. They can't hurt me. I'm on the phone. Also, the other agent said, oh, I don't like to make phone calls. I'd rather do things in person. Well, good for them. But I was willing to get on the phone. How could they hurt me? I had confidence in myself. I felt good about me. And so I would write something down at the end of the day. If I didn't get an appointment that day, I would look down at my list and I would go, what works is to make phone calls, to make dials, to make phone calls and to talk to the owner. And then what didn't work, like if I didn't make any calls. Let's say I got really busy. I went to the title companies. I went and looked at new properties that were for sale. I went on a caravan. I talked to everybody in the office. I talked to Lois at the front door. She was great. She always had all the gossip in the office, which I loved to talk to her. And but not making phone calls, not dialing, not calling, not getting the times, that didn't work. If I want appointments, I have to dial. If I want appointments, I have to talk to the for sale by owner. If I want appointments, I have to do that. So it seems like it's common sense, but you'd be surprised at how many salespeople put off their outbound calls. They put them off all day long, and then it's 3 o'clock and they go, oh, it's too late to call now. So on the list of what didn't work was not calling people who had houses to sell. All right? So make a list of what works and what doesn't work. Now today, well, of course I'm retired now, but within the last few years, what I would do is I had a list of people from conventions, companies that had seen me speak and had given me a card, and I put a list of them together, and then I didn't count on them to call me. I called them. All right? Never trust that when you give your card to someone that they'll take it and love your card and give you a phone call. They won't. They don't. That business card is probably going to end up in the trash. I'm sorry. Probably. So what I want you to do, starting today, if you really want to be good in the sales game, is to make a list. Get out a notebook. Keep a notebook. And every day you write the day and the date, and you write what worked today and what did not work today. I'll give you some other ideas of other things that could go on this page, because I got a million of them. As I said, I've got a whole page. I've got a journal for salespeople that has many things on it. But today's lesson is, if you want to be good at what you do, you need to find out what works and what doesn't work, and stop doing what doesn't work. Now that sounds pretty obvious, doesn't it? Except for one really serious thing. People, including you, will do practically anything to be right. So if you thought that going to the title company, or going to visit your friend, or having lunch with a lender, or filling out your TikTok form, or whatever it is you do, was more important than being with a buyer or a seller, you might continue to do that thing that you do that doesn't work. You might. One time my husband said, "You haven't sold much real estate lately." And I said, "I know, I feel terrible." And he said, "Well, were you with a buyer or a seller today?" And I had to look at my day and go, no, I wasn't with a buyer or a seller. Same thing happened in my speaking business, my training business. At the end of the day, if I didn't talk to someone that was in the business with me, someone who could hire me, then I wasn't in the business. See what I mean? It's so simple, but it's not easy, because we would rather be right than anything else. Well, I had to go do that thing. I mean, that thing that was so important, I really had to do it. You could have made your phone calls first, or you could have done something that would put you in front of a buyer. Okay? That's what you need to remember. So make a list, start today, and your career is going to start immediately, because you see, careers operate because the universe says yes. And as soon as you start to take responsibility for what works and what doesn't work, oh my gosh, the doors just open right up. Be ready for it. Okay, bye-bye. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Oh, wait a minute. What am I going to do tomorrow? Let me think. I don't really know. I'll open my journal and I'll find something to talk about tomorrow. It'll probably be about money. Okay, bye-bye.